Cardo Got Wings actually told me, he was like, yeah, Drake's familiar with your music.
That's insane.
So I was like, wow, like the fact that, you know, the GOAT is listening to me. It's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, they wanna know if it's real or a myth. She wanna confirm if the feelings that she been feeling lately be like shit with the kiss.
What's up, guys? You're watching Bluehousetv, and today we're here with the one and only Nessly.
Nessly still finessing.
Let's go. How we feeling today, bro?
Feeling great, bro. Glad
yeah.
to, you know what I'm saying, sit down with you.
Fast.
Chat.
Let's go. So we out in LA right now. What are we out here for?
We're filming a few songs, working on a new project right now, unreleased, untitled, you know, just getting content ready.
Just getting content ready. I like it. So I want to dive into, like, take me back to some of the early days, like 2015, 2016 SoundCloud days when stuff just started popping off. Tell me about, like, the energy back then and how things were, like, different from today.
I mean, everybody who, like, you know, inspired the music that we hear these days, like from the new SoundCloud kids, all the kids going crazy on TikTok, you know, it's the same energy. We would sleep on couches, we would party and sweat, and it was crazy. There was, like, no money in it back then, right? But
100%.
It's funny because now, like, you know, that we've made our marks and become more established, you see a lot more artists with that formula, and the labels now are, like, they're hip to it. They see it work. So it's crazy because it's the same energy, but it's worth more now.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. How would you say SoundCloud helped your career from, like, those earliest days?
I mean, what's funny is I probably started a SoundCloud in 2009 before the wave, and just was like, okay, this is not going to be anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I probably started seeing all my friends using SoundCloud for personal listening. I was like, let me just put my music on here. I had no clue it would be what it is. And then, you know, one play after the next, it just turned from 10,000 to 1 million. It was like, I never thought I'd get 1 million plays. So SoundCloud, I owe it to SoundCloud, you know?
Absolutely.
Funny enough, I was the first person in SoundCloud's office to tell them about the SoundCloud glasses.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, I had a meeting with SoundCloud, and I was like, you know, people call these clout glasses? They call them SoundCloud glasses. And
that's insane.
They were laughing because they had no clue. So
that's
yeah,
insane.
SoundCloud definitely paved the way.
Legendary, bro.
Absolutely.
Legendary. So early on, Canada was rocking with you heavy. How did that all come about? Like,
I mean, I wouldn't even have a direct answer for how it came about, but it was just funny because there was a strong influx, I guess, with the Canadian sound of having this, like, sad but still trap, like, undertone beat, and I wasn't even aware of it, and I was making stuff in that aura of that whole style.
So take me back to them days, that first time you heard yourself on OVO Radio. What was that feeling?
Man.
Where were you at, and what was that
feeling?
Bro, I
was driving down the street, maybe in the passenger seat of my friend's car, and it was literally my birthday. It was January 14th, and all I saw was these tweets. I search my name all the time, and it was like, Nessly's playing on OVO Radio, Drake just played Nessly, and I was like, what? I didn't believe it. I had to see, like, screenshots of myself, and the calls started coming in, and, like, I had a friend, Mike always listened to OVO Radio. I didn't even, like, have Apple Music until then. I got Apple Music just because of that. And from there, I messaged Oliver, who was Drake's manager, and I said, yo, thanks for playing me tonight. And we built a little relationship, and I was able to send him more music to play. So it was nuts, yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's a moment right there for sure. That's like motivating, kind of gets you, like,
oh yeah,
on your shit,
I was
back
like
in the studio type.
Yeah, it was one of the first episodes. So I was like, man, Drake must have heard it, you know?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and Cardo Got Wings actually told me, he was like, yeah, Drake's familiar with your music.
That's insane.
So I was like, wow, like the fact that, you know, the GOAT is listening to me is crazy.
That's insane. So did you grow up in a musical household?
Not very musical, but, you know, to an extent. My dad did play the guitar, but not professionally to any degree, and he played me a lot of Sade, which influences how I sing, how I move my voice. My mom is from Belize, so she listens to a lot of Caribbean music, and sometimes, you know, I'll tap into that, but that's more so, I feel like that influences more so from where music is right now, more
100%.
than what it was in my household.
100%. What do your parents think of you as an artist now? Like, what's their whole thoughts on everything?
They love it now. I mean, when I was a kid, I started out when I was 12, you know, it was almost, you know, a little more than 10 years ago, and they didn't really, they supported the fact that I was into something that wasn't dangerous for me, you know, especially growing up in Atlanta. I have friends who sell drugs, all type of things, so they were happy I wasn't doing things like that, but, you know, they weren't necessarily excited. They want me to focus on school and
100%.
getting a degree and finding a job, but, you know, I moved out probably 2 years after starting my SoundCloud account, all off of SoundCloud. So, you know, from there, I haven't asked for $1 since, you know,
Absolutely.
a meal since. So,
Let's go.
you know, it feels good to be able to take care of myself and the people around me.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the big thing is like once they see the money start coming in, they're like,
Then they
"Alright,"
believe
like,
it,
it's
yeah.
all good,
Sometimes
for
it
sure.
takes that proof.
No, fact.
You know?
So you've always been a pretty confident person, or you're a very confident person with you hold yourself. Have you always been like that? Like, throughout your whole
I
life?
wouldn't say I've always been confident. I think doing little things that kind of push the boundaries for someone like myself, even in fashion, even,
Okay.
you know, wearing bright colors or something that someone else might criticize has gotten me complimented, not necessarily for the style, because it might not be understood, but more so like, wow, like people like me who say, dang, I don't have the balls to do that. And I'm like, shit, man, I guess, like,
No,
it helped me become more confident, like fashion.
Facts.
Fashion definitely helped me become more confident.
Who do you look up to for inspiration for drip?
For drip, I don't know. I mean, back in the day, it would be like Kanye West,
Okay.
you know. That was like my first inspiration that got me into fashion. Then from there, I kind of just started staying within my budget, and staying within my budget while being inspired is definitely what got me
Swagging
dressing
out
how
in
I
budget,
dress.
though,
Yeah,
No,
for
that's,
sure.
That's important. If you can figure that out without the money, then you know.
Exactly.
Once you got some shit coming
Yep.
in, it looks extra fire.
I agree.
So if you were to blend a smoothie of rappers together to make Nessly, what would a smoothie have in it? Who would be in it?
It would be more than rappers, but I would
Okay.
say, you know, you'd have like a little sprinkle of Future, a little sprinkle of Kanye,
Okay.
and then you get something like, I don't know, like put like a Zaytoven beat in there,
Let's go.
and then a little hint of Gorillaz. Like it's I can do a little bit of everything, and of course Drake. I feel like Drake and Kanye have inspired all of us to an extent with how we use our Autotune.
Absolutely.
You know, being a little more open to being vulnerable in our songs about honesty, about
Absolutely.
things like mental health or losing a relationship rather than always being the player in the song. So
No, facts.
yeah, like those things have inspired me to be more myself for
Absolutely.
sure. I'll drink that smoothie. Woo.
I'll drink that smoothie. And here I am.
Pause.
Pause.
Yeah.
Facts. All right. So how did you and take a day trip link up?
Take a Day Trip and I linked up through SoundCloud originally. I found them. They were doing music with someone, and I heard the beat, and I was like, wow, this is like the closest thing to like A-list celebrity production I could find online. And I was like, whoa, like how is this even possible? Like that these people are where they are. And I reached out to them, and my manager happened to already know them in person. And through me messaging them and that relationship already existing, it was just like a mesh. It was so easy. Yeah.
That's insane.
Fire.
Can you tell me about when you recorded the legendary?
Daytrip took it to 10.
Yes,
Hey.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I made a song called Never Knew on my album Solo Boy Band, and
Okay.
at the end of the song, I actually produced it originally, and I wanted them to add drums. So at the end of the song, I wanted to talk at the end. I wanted to make a skit.
Okay.
So I said, yeah, I made the beat, and Daytrip took it to 10. And then we cut the other vocals around it and just kept Daytrip took it to 10.
Let's
Simple
go.
as that.
Let's go.
And now it's all over the radio. Now it's playing at the Grammys, and I'm watching it from home like, wow, that's
Yo,
my
that's
voice.
me.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
That's a trip. Bro.
Yeah.
That's a trip for sure. Tell me about the early time with Autotune and that being kind of just like new and you kind of honing in on that
Absolutely.
sound. Did you get a lot of hate early on for that?
Well, you mean like Autotune the plugin or the ARM thing?
We'll start with the plugin. Just like
Okay, start
using
with the plugin.
using Autotune yourself.
Well,
just like,
what's crazy is when I started using Autotune, it wasn't popular yet. You could barely find a crack for it.
Okay.
The graphics were terrible on it. Like it ran slow. And I found it just trying to figure out whatever Lil Wayne was using, and I used it, and it was never like I never did it in key. I never used it appropriately because I didn't understand how to, and there was no one that could really teach you back then. There was like 1 or 2 YouTube videos, literally 1 or 2.
That's insane.
And I would watch the same ones because there was no other tutorials.
Facts.
And I just didn't get it. But you know, back then no one really criticized the music. As far as the Autotune Arm goes, man, it was crazy. Like everybody like either thought it was real and was convinced, and they followed me based off of it. And yeah, I got a lot of criticism, and I used to try to tell people like that wasn't the point of the video. It was just something fun. Like
No,
what
absolutely.
if like this is a hypothetical, like in a futuristic society, like what if we could sing and correct it in like real time while it's happening, you know? And I just thought to myself, I really wish this existed.
Absolutely.
You know, so it was conceptual.
You were like speaking into existence on your like
Yeah, I wanted
Elon
to
Musk
speak into
shit or
existence,
something.
and I saw like later on that T-Pain actually talked about it on a talk show once, like what if we had like real-time Autotune? I was like, oh wow, like it's not my idea originally anymore, I
100%.
guess. Yeah.
100%.
So-
Can you tell me the pros and cons of how that like affected your career per se?
Sure. the Autotune Arm, the pros were, I did gain a lot of followers. It created some interest, but the cons were really strong, bro, because, I'd already been selling out shows in New York, LA, Canada, all these places, 500,000 people saying, Nessly, 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 it was crazy. But, a lot of my fans, I think, were shifted by the public opinions that came from the Autotune Arm happening. And, a lot of kids, that probably didn't know who I was, probably thinking, oh, I'm just trying to fool them with the Autotune Arm. But in reality, it wasn't for publicity. It was more so just to say, man, this idea would be cool if it existed. But you take the bad with the good with the bad is yin yang, bro.
Absolutely. And the internet's a gullible spot, so they were just like,
for sure.
They're like, yo, is this dude like
for
not
sure.
human type thing?
I don't have an Autotune Arm, okay? Like, stop asking me in the mall, man.
Let's go. So can you name 3 accomplishments in your career that you would say you're most proud of?
Definitely the Daytrip tag. That's amazing. I love that. I love knowing that, I can take care of myself every day off of doing what I love. That's another accomplishment. Huge. And I think my third accomplishment, which will be very vague, is just looking forward to accomplishing more things.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
The future, looking in the future.
I'm always looking towards the future.
I love that. That. That's important. So before you started seeing some traction, was there something a part of your daily routine that you can contribute to some of your success today?
For sure. I was recording maybe 3 to 5 songs a day, every single day, whether I had surgery, whether I just came off an injury and led me to surgery again. I was either in the hospital with my microphone or I was in bed, like supposed to be resting, recording, so I think consistency of quantity helped me develop my quality. 100%. So, quantity and quality is what I attribute my success to.
And I feel like the more quantity you do, you start getting quality. Right?
Exactly.
You just figure out the
it's
formula.
more practice.
It's
if you draw once a year, you'll never be Picasso.
Exactly.
Picasso probably had to do 1,000 stick figures.
That's how I look at it. It's like you're trying to make a full court shot, because this is a full court shot. If you're trying to make it, you can't just shoot one and be like.
Exactly. Yeah, you're going to miss.
Exactly. So if you had unlimited money to invest in your music career right now, what would be the first thing you spent your bag on?
Probably my dream features and more beats, more engineers.
Okay.
Better music videos, it's all about just like the quality at this point. I know I have the talent, and I just think, upping the quality is what we see when artists get bigger. We'll listen to a lot of artists in their raw state, and once all those little tweaks are fine-tuned, we hear them for what the final product should be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you have any dream features or like dream producers that you're trying to work with that you haven't tapped in with yet?
Definitely a ton, man. Dot the Genius.
Okay.
Vinyls. Man, so many people. I did something with TM88, but I would love to work with Southside.
Let's go.
Yeah, I would love to work with a lot of people, bro.
Crazy.
Features, man. Sade, Travis, Bjork, Doug, Future.
Let's go.
That's like kind of like every rapper. It's a wish list, know?
Fast.
Yeah, but all of them on the same fucking album would be amazing.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
So if nobody's heard your music, they're definitely sleeping on you. But if they haven't, what would be 3 songs that you would want to point them to that would best describe your sound?
Sure. I would say LSD Ski Trip.
Okay.
Back to Life. And let's Make It Right featuring Joji.
Okay, fire. And then can you just talk a little bit about you and Lil Yachty's relationship? How did that all come about?
Man, it's crazy. Yachty and I just have always been like one person away for years, and I think I met him because we were mutuals in like a Facebook group selling shoes and stuff. Way. So it was like, we knew that everybody was into sneakers, but as far as fashion goes, like fashion's always last. People always like sneakers first, I feel like. And we just had mutual interest in fashion that maybe the rest of the community didn't agree with. Like, I don't know, colored hair. It's very niche. Like, absolutely. We liked colored hair before it was really trendy, honestly. And, we linked up, like, we met one day at a pop-up shop for a clothing brand. Okay. And from there, I was like, bro, I like your energy. Like, you should come to my house. I have a studio there. And I would record Yachty and make beats for him and everything because he didn't have this whole foundation he has now. Way. Yeah, and Burberry Perry was living with me at the time. Oh, we had a house, like my mom's house, and he would sleep there every day. He wasn't living at home at the time, so.
What year is this?
I'm taking you back to like 2014 probably. I'd say, yeah. Me and Perry went to college together.
Oh, no way.
So, yeah, he would trade me, in the beginning before we were really friends, he would trade me rides home from school in exchange to teach him about making beats. So I taught him how to make beats, and he scored One Night with Yachty. It was a beat that I passed up on because I felt like it wasn't my style. You know what I mean? 100%. So it was dope to see that record come about for me, like putting it away, and then I saw one of my best friends just going to stardom. You know what I'm saying? Nuts, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a good feeling too, you know?
Oh yeah, I'm so proud of him every day, bro.
That's legit, bro.
Yeah, bro.
So I like to do this little section where we do overrated, underrated. I'm just gonna run through. I'm just gonna say some stuff. The first thing that pops into your head, just go overrated, underrated. You can do properly rated, but
I was gonna do that anyway. Don't worry.
Bet. So Kanye West.
Perfectly rated.
Let's go. Beat tags.
Overrated.
Overrated. Okay. The movie Step Brothers.
Perfectly rated.
Perfect. Let's go. Playboy Cardi.
Perfectly rated.
Let's go. Designer clothes.
Underrated.
Underrated? Let's go. Okay. Rage beats.
Overrated.
Overrated? Facts. I agree too. Recording at big studios.
Overrated.
Facts. Record labels.
Overrated.
Facts. I love it. And this is the question we always like to end it with. What advice would you give to your younger self?
The advice I'll give to my younger self is everything's meant to be. Don't reflect on the past, live in the now. You're good.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Let's go. And there you guys have it. Another episode Under the Wraps with the one and only Nessly.
Nessly still. Nessly.
Let's go. You're watching Bluehousetv. We'll see you guys next week.
I'm sipping on that Texas potion.
My G.
That was hard, bro.
Take you bitch phone from me when they come through the door. Bad bitch trying to drop blood from my finger. I ain't know a screen was broke. Yeah, I'm nervous.